So ESPN first take analyst Stephen A. Smith does LeBron James dirty. He does LeBron James filthy. He does LeBron James grimy. Stephen A. Smith slides on his lemon pepper steppers and steps on LeBron James like the cockroach that he is. Stephen A. Smith goes WWF Undertaker mode and does the tombstone finishing move on LeBron James. Loads one in the chamber and knocks off LeBron James's male lace front. But Stephen A. Smith exposing LeBron James for being nothing more than media hype, revealing that LeBron James is nothing more than a manufactured puppet. He was built by the media, LeBron James' entire image. But here's what Stephen A. Smith had to say. So Stephen A. Smith says, quote, "When you retire, let's see how much I talk about you then." He goes on to say, "You won't matter much, I promise you." And yes, he's right. I promise you, with no promise ring, LeBron James, you won't matter. ESPN is going to tank without LeBron James because they've centered and built their entire brand around promoting LeBron James. It's all about LeBron James. The LeBron sexuals, the LGBTQ, are very much delusional. Majority of them, sadly, they are short-term thinkers. They're prisoners of the moment. They don't even realize that the very same media that LeBron James is going against, that he's turning his back on, is a war that he can never win. It's a battle that he's going to lose every time because that very same media that birthed him and gave him an RNA life is the same media that will destroy him and take him out because LeBron James ultimately was manufactured. He was built up. That's why he was given the name The Chosen One. He was handpicked by the media and the higher-ups in the RNA. He was chosen by the secret society, the Illuminati, the Boule, allegedly. See, this is going to hurt LeBron James' legacy because of all the devious things that LeBron James has been doing behind the scenes. He never earned his spot, gifted everything. So all the mishaps, all the shortcomings, all the failures, all the choking, all the hopping from team to team, forming super teams. But now he's biting the hand that fed him. The media paints LeBron James as this humanitarian, as this great father. You notice that Stephen A. Smith had to put out disclaimers. He had to be careful and walk on eggshells. Be mindful when he speak about LeBron James because he knows that the bronzesexuals would attack him. But Stephen A. Smith was brainwashed as well at one point. He was under the programming as well because the higher-ups within ESPN told Stephen A. Smith it was in his job that he had to talk about LeBron James 24/7. He had to brainwash the masses into thinking that LeBron James deserved to be in a conversation with Michael Jordan. What the bronzesexuals don't know is that in the long run, this is going to destroy LeBron James' legacy. It's going to hurt him because the media is going to move on to the next great player. They're going to move on to the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world. They're going to move on to the Luka Doncic's of the world, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, the Nikola Jokic's, the Jason Tatums, Jaylen Brown, the Ja Morants of the world. The league is going to move on without LeBron James. But LeBron James knows that without the media, it's already a life. It's dead. It's over. But he can't hang the jersey up. He wants to wear the jersey forever. LeBron James even betrayed Brian Whithorse, who was the driver for the bronzesexual bus. Someone who covered LeBron James since he first entered the RNA. Brian Whithorse, who's a senior writer and a media pundit for ESPN. He always reported news that was in favor of LeBron James. He's the one who played a huge part, a huge role into LeBron James becoming this mega figure that he became. He played a huge role in helping LeBron James build himself and catapult him to superstardom. Same as Stephen A. Smith. Same as Kendrick Perkins. The same as Michael Wilbon. All these media members played a part in LeBron James becoming what he became. But he's turning his back and he's going against that very same media. But that's a fight that he can never win. Even Stephen A. Smith said he wanted to drop kick LeBron James. Shawn Michaels kicked LeBron James. The media is getting fed up with LeBron James. The media knows all LeBron James' dark secrets. They know that all his championships are rigged. They know that all the numbers are rigged. See, the media, along with the RNA, has coddled, protected, and pacified LeBron James since the beginning of his career. The bronsexuals think everything is laughing jokes. They're giving LeBron James so much credit. LeBron James, he's into the gimmicks because he knows that the sheep is going to buy into it. They're going to say, oh, LeBron James, he's on his 50 Cent. He's trolling just like 50 Cent. No crayons. But LeBron James is showing his true colors. See, the bronsexuals don't understand that Stephen A. Smith has the upper hand. He has the advantage in this situation because there's a new form of media that exists in the world today. Fans no longer consume news and through television any longer. Now they go straight to social media. Now they go to YouTube. Stephen A. Smith has built his platform up. Stephen A. Smith has a large fan base. He's garnered a lot of traction on his page. So now Stephen A. Smith can utilize those followers and spread any message that he wants. He can cover other players. They no longer have to rely and depend on LeBron James. See, LeBron James is the reason that the NBA ratings are declining. See, LeBron James can go on social media and roast Stephen A. Smith, but it doesn't affect Stephen A. Smith because the real basketball fans, the ones who really matters, those are the ones who support Stephen A. Smith. As long as Stephen A. Smith keeps spreading the truth, Stephen A. Smith is going to win. LeBron James can't survive without the media. He's just a hype job. The media is the reason that your son is in the NBA. LeBron James' darkest secrets is coming to light. LeBron James destroyed the All-Star game. He destroyed competition in the NBA. See, LeBron James can't survive without the media. LeBron James trying to survive without the media is like a fish trying to survive without water. See, Stephen A. Smith has to start playing chess. He's gotten LeBron James to come out into the streets and dance. You got to play dirty with LeBron James. See, Stephen A. Smith has to hit LeBron James where it hurts. LeBron James is going to leave Stephen A. Smith alone. What Stephen A. Smith has to do is uncover the LeBron James steroid scandal allegedly. Maybe Stephen A. Smith should interview Chael Sonnen. I bet LeBron James put a muzzle on his mouth then because he knows that if he responds to it, it's going to start to raise suspicion. See, LeBron James fears how his name is going to be perceived. He cares about his image. He cares about what's being said. That's why Stephen A. Smith is winning. Because now, LeBron James, you're responding. He's giving attention to the spectators, which shows that he cares. It bothers him. So he really does care what people are saying about him. But honestly, I just wish Stephen A. Smith would just stop apologizing. I wish he stopped straddling the fence and stand on business. But see, LeBron James' kryptonite is his ego. Not women, not his children, not his money, not his mom, not material things, none of that. His ego. He's an emotionally driven person because he was raised by a woman and didn't have a father in his life. He's a narcissist. So all he cares about is him. He cares about what's being said about him. He feels the need to have to defend his name constantly because he views himself above the people. Hence why he has the self-proclaimed name, the King. And now that people are calling him out and seeing him for who he is and what he is, it's breaking his spirit. So in other words, the truth hurts.